Hi, good evening, everybody. Tom Walsh here. Got a request on how to properly maintain your blower motor for your E-Classic boilers. Um, and this video also applies to the new Forge boilers. The first thing is, this really should be done in the off season, but I get it. If you can't do it then, you need to do it now because you have a noisy motor, or you're concerned it's never been lubricated, or you haven't done it. Expect about 3 hours of downtime without using your wood boiler. You can still circulate the water through it, but you got to remove the blower motor, which provides your air for the fire. So after you figure out what you're going to do, remove the blower motor and bring it inside. Have some 3-in-1 oil. It's motor oil. Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, a good hardware store will have that. The next thing we're going to talk about is a new water level sensor, which I'm really excited about, from Central Boiler. So once you remove the fan motor, you're gonna locate 2 ports where you're gonna put the oil in, upper and lower, and you're gonna put about 4 or 5 drops in each hole. And after you do that, you're gonna take the unit, you're gonna stand it up on its end, and just let it sit there for about 3 or 4 hours, or the season. Or you can bring it back outside and bolt it on your central boiler. Don't plug it in, don't use it, just let it sit there. Let the oil penetrate and get down to the shaft and the bearings, and just let it sit there. Check the operation too of the squirrel cage inside here. Make sure it's not really noisy. It should be smooth. It should be spinning like that. If it's making a lot of noise or very loose, you need a new blower motor. Which leads me to the other part of this, is that this is my spare. The newer motors that CB are sending out to the dealers are quieter, and they actually ramp in versus they're an instant on. I kind of like that. You hear them spin up. I got a little nervous at first because I wasn't used to it, but it's power more. It has, I believe it. I think it has more power than the current, my old one. This was a 2012 model. It was making a lot of noise, and I got a new one. When I got the new one, I found that CB's not sending with the connectors anymore. You have to patch them into your existing connector, because they said the Forge series and some of the other models now have different connectors. So to alleviate that and send a Genda bender for the clips, they just have you cut the wires of power leads and reattach the ground here. And what I like is these little quick disconnects. I've seen them before with CB on different parts, and I found them on Amazon. And all you do is just you know, 1 per wire, and you just patch them in. The quick disconnect clips, once you've stripped the wire, you put the wire in them, and you're good to go. They make a great connection. But I can't stress this enough. You really should have a backup fan, because if it goes out in the middle of the night or day, you're out of luck. You're going to wait 3 to 5 days, if not longer, for another fan module. So again, have a spare fan. Do yourself a favor. Have a spare fan motor. All right. Again, very simple to do. Put the oil in the upper and lower weep holes right there, and just let it sit there. Okay. So the second part of the video is the new water level sensors. The original ones, this is a spare one. It was an old one, but it still worked. I kept it as a spare just in case. I keep a lot of spare parts. Hate to be without stuff like this in the middle of the night. Now, E-Classics, the older ones, had a plastic water level sensor, and if you didn't change them every 2 to 3 years, you would find that they would disintegrate in the 190 degree water temperatures, or 185, whatever you want to have yours set at. And this thing would just basically disintegrate and fall into your water jacket and float all around and such. That drove me nuts one day, to the point where I drained my boiler and found the part inside there to get it out. Did not want to have this stuck in my pump. So to have a second spare, Central Boilers now make them in stainless. I have no idea what type of stainless this is, but it's a hell of a lot better than the plastic ones, because like I said, they disintegrate. Now you're going to find this is very easy to do, and again, the clip may not match with yours. That's why they send you 2 clips with it. Quick disconnect, you just cut them and you splice in your clip appropriate with your water level sensor. Okay, very easy to do. And you're going to notice on your water level sensors there's a dot, plastic or metal. They put a dot indicating the top of the water level sensor. This always should be straight up and always should be up at the top of the boiler. So if you're removing it, it would look just like this. Can't be like that, can't be like this, it has to be like this, because it indicates the level of the water. If it's on the side, it won't properly float to the correct position, and you'll get a low water level sensor, which will shut down your boiler, which is not good. They give you instructions how to do it. It's, again, very easy to do. The first thing you should do, you're going to notice how I got these wires nice and, I cut them a little bit too short, but you cut them there and you put it on your box, your ratchet to the end of this thing, your deep socket, or vice grips, whatever you do to get this out. And you just, then again, you just patch into your existing wire harness on your central boiler. Very easy to do. If you haven't changed this in a long time, I recommend taking out and changing it. You're going to have to drain down the water level of your central boiler to where the sensor is, which is below your sight gauge, and you unscrew the panel on the back. It's in the upper left hand corner of mine and my 1450. Some insulation, take that out. Be careful, the small screws can fall down. I found that out the hard way a couple times. But you're going to locate this in the upper left hand corner of your E-Classic boiler, and you remove it, and you're going to carefully, and you take it out, and I would order the new stainless steel water level sensor from your dealer, part number 2500467. It was like around 40 bucks. Well worth the money. I think that's one of the best ideas CB's had in a long time to combat the plastic design. I mean, they didn't tell us they had to change it every few years. You took it apart when you got a low water level sensor, or you called your dealer, and they come out, and lo and behold, it's just a crappy float switch. I can't emphasize this enough. Invest in a new float switch and keep another one as a spare. I hope this helps everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on YouTube. I'll also post my number in the comments if you have any questions or concerns. Take care.